Hey, it's JJ here, owner of Scotland's original beard care brand, Braw Beard. Born in Scotland and enjoyed worldwide, Braw Beard produce high quality beard care products and a range of clothing. As the brand grows, so does our community, the Brawtherhood. With this show, I want to give you a further insight into the brand and the people involved. We'll be sharing stories, lessons learned, beard care tips, and interviews with our athletes and ambassadors. And generally just shooting the shit and seeing where the conversation takes us. You're listening to our brand new podcast, or should I say, the Brawcast. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Alright, this is episode 4 of the Brawcast, and I'm here with Braw athlete Jamie Coward. Jamie became a Braw athlete in 2015, I think it was.
Yeah.
We met down at Scarborough for the bike racing down there. I'd been aware of you before then though. I've been a bike racing fan for years, hence why I sponsor motorcycle athletes. And so yeah, I was a fan. I've seen you coming up through the ranks. You're progressing pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so yeah, now we are at the TT. This is a bit a different atmosphere for me as well, doing a podcast in front of Jamie's fans.
Yeah,
So,
good call, Matt. Yeah.
So you've just stepped off the superbike.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I've just finished the 6-lap senior TT, finishing 8th place, and just joined the 130 mile an hour club, 130.3. So made up with that. To be honest, that's what one of my aims was when we came this year to the TT. We're trying to break that duck, and I'm absolutely made up with that. To be honest, it's just it's a big feat in my road racing career.
Oh, definitely to break the 130. That's as you say, it's a 130 club, isn't it?
Yeah, there's not many. I don't know how many people is actually official in it, but it's not a many. So I'm absolutely over the moon.
Yeah, and when we say 130, that's not. He's reached 130 miles an hour. That's an average lap of 130 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's
right?
an average lap of 130 mile an hour over 37 3/4 miles. So it's a bit bonkers, really. But
it's mad.
It's absolutely. I'm absolutely over the moon.
Oh, you got to be, surely.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely chuffed to bits.
But if you don't know what the Isle of Man TT is, check it out on YouTube. Just the Isle of Man TT, and you'll get an insight into what Jamie does for fun, really.
Yeah, that's what it is, really. So I'm not professional. I'm only semi-professional. Obviously, I get lucky to have people like John sponsoring me and other people as well. So I've still got to go to work on Monday when we get back on Sunday night. So it's but it's when you see it, it's something else. And if you can come and view it yourself, it's amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers.
The thought of it scares me, to be honest. Like I've been riding motorbikes. I started riding motorbikes when I was 3. My dad put me on a QR50, a wee dirt bike when I was 3, so I can ride bikes. And I've had road bikes in the past, but man, just the thought of what speed do you hit? Like 190 odd?
I think we get clocked at. It's a Sober speed trap on the TT course, and it's I think I got clocked at 189 mile an hour, but. It's a bit silly, that speed trap, because it's like right at the beginning of the straight. The straight's like a kilometre long or something like that, and the speed trap's right at the beginning. So I know that there's a few people been clocked on the telemetry on the motor tech or the data they've seen. It's like, I think Bruce Hansen got clocked at 206 mile an hour, I think, by the end of Sober Straight. So it's mind-boggling, really.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Over 200 miles an hour on a motorcycle.
Yeah, on not just on a circuit, on like on open road, public roads, really. So it's mind-boggling.
That's it, man. Like we were staying up in Ramsey, which is another wee town at the north of the island, and we were driving in this morning, and you forget how bumpy the road actually is.
It's really bizarre, really. Because like I said, yourself with a car and you're coming in, if you can feel the bumps in the car. So when you're doing 130, 140 mile an hour going for them, but the bumps come so more pronounced. It's bonkers.
Your eyeballs must be rattling.
Yeah. Some people, they're not that bad, but it is. You do get obviously sore backs and stuff like that. Cause obviously, and your knees get quite sore. Cause obviously, you stood on the pegs, but it's rattling you about, and you're shaking your body, and your kidneys and your internals are shaking about. It's quite bonkers, really.
Yeah, well, you see that when the guys get off the bike. Well, it's so right. So the lap record is, you're averaging sort of 17 minutes.
Yeah, it's about 17 minutes, something like that. 17 minutes 30 or something. So, I think the lap. I don't know what the official time is, but. The actual official lap record is like 135.4 average speed, I think. Jeez. That was set last year, but the conditions are really good and stuff like that.
They were amazing last year.
Yeah.
So if you're taking pit stops and whatnot, you're, say, an average of 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's about that.
So 6 laps is 2 hours on a motorcycle.
Yeah, it's. I think it's officially the longest longest motorbike race in the world, I think. So for the duration, you know, you got obviously people probably watching the podcast are, you know, about MotoGP. It's like they think 24 laps is a long distance, and really it's not. When if you look at the TT and you think about it, it's 37 3/4 miles at one lap, and it's times that by 6, it's like 250 odd miles or something like that. Ridiculous. So it's absolutely bonkers, really.
And it's a unique race as well, because you talk about the MotoGP, but that's specifically designed tracks for bikes. You know, it's super smooth. You got the cambers and stuff like that. Over here, it's
literally people's from year to year. The track actually changes. You know, so you get cars and open public buses, wagons, trucks, everything, like horses, cows crossing it and stuff like that. You know, so it's every time you come back, it changes. You know, so it's not like a short circuit where the circuit's virtually all the same all the time. It gets clean and stuff like that. It's over here. It's like it's open roads. It's like I said, if you haven't seen it before and you haven't heard of it, then you need to watch it, because it's absolutely bonkers. Yeah,
and if you can make it over here to watch, it's well worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's obviously it's quite expensive, but it's definitely worth a trip.
It's what was the DVD they done, Closer to the Edge?
Of course, that's it.
And that was guys in there. There's a lot of Americans in there. That was on their bucket list.
Yeah,
they just wanted to come, tick it off, and experience it. Look at
this week, I've been a bit of a tour guide around the circuit, because obviously the practice has been so poor. So I've had just going into like a car and just talking people around the lap, and I've had quite a lot of foreign people over, especially some Americans over actually, and it were I was absolutely gobsmacked. But one of the American guys that I was speaking to was the Salt Flats, Bonneville Salt Flats.
Bonneville Salt Flats.
He's one of the 8 people in the world that's been over 400 mile an hour. He was clocked at 414 mile an hour. He had a hat on, I didn't realise at first, but when we obviously did a lap and showed him my markers and stuff and just talked a lot of rubbish, really, or shit, should we say. And we got to, went to some museums, and we got to this bit of this museum at Jerby, and it was like a Bonneville Salt Flats like thing.
Right, okay, yeah,
and he was talking me through it and stuff, and then I realised that he pointed at his hat and he had his name written on it and a proper Bonneville thing.
Oh, right,
had his speed written on the side. So, and then that night I went back and watched it on YouTube. I can't remember what it was called. Charles Nurberg, he was called. I went all really, because it's not often you meet. Obviously we do like 200 mile an hour, but it's someone's one in only 8 people to do over 400 mile an hour, and he sat in the car listening to me talk shit. It was mental.
get him up to the front.
That's it, yeah.
That's mad. Over 400 miles an hour.
It's absolutely. I think it was 414.34, something like that. Which is, I think the record, to actually get the record, you've got to have done it twice in an hour. So you've got to go one way, and then come back the other way. And obviously people have been faster than that, but to get the record, you've got to do it in an hour, in 2 runs in an hour. I was an hour in all. This guy, I was absolutely gobsmacked when he said, I didn't know what to say to him. I didn't know what to do. Initially, I was just driving around in this van with him, obviously like a proper van, but he was just talking absolute nonsense to him. But then he started, when I found out he'd done that, I was like, I didn't really know what to say to him.
His autograph,
yeah.
You're on the other side of the fence for a change.
That's it, yeah.
So let's take it back, Jamie. How did you get involved in motorbike, or how did you get started in motorbike racing?
It was my dad. My dad been doing it since I can remember.
Right, okay.
Obviously, he's been doing the Irish road racing and stuff like that, and he's been that's all I can remember. On a weekend or during the week, I'd go to school, and on a Thursday night we'd be loading the van, and on Friday we'd set off racing. So my dad just influenced me into it, and then I think it's once you've been in the paddock and you the atmosphere and stuff, it doesn't leave you, kind of thing. So I just and then once unfortunately my mum and dad couldn't afford to pay for a bike when I was younger, so they probably would have done if they could afford. So when I finished school and got myself a job, then my first wage went into buying a bike, so and just from there it's just spiraled out of control, really. And
it seems like that's been the way since that paycheck then.
Yeah, it's literally just like I said, I got my first paycheck, and my dad had a few bits in a bike, like chassis and engine and forks and stuff, so we put something together, and obviously I had to spend a few quid to get it to a competitive kind of thing, and then that's it, we went racing then. I think I was 17-year-old, I think, when I started, so it's and then from there on I've just been absolutely flat out, and like I said, it's just spiraled out of control, really.
So where was that first race? Was that track circuit? Or
short circuit racing.
Yeah.
With a little club called Wirral 100 Club, and based in Liverpool, or Liverpool, yeah. And our first race was at Anglesey.
Oh yeah.
And it was a bit of a Anglesey. I can't remember what it's called, Anglesey Track Mon or something like that it's called, but. Yeah, the first race, he just went out there, and initially I was like a bit rusty, and I just probably really shit, to be honest. But and by the I said I just got hooked, and then from there on in, I've just done anything I can, and just worked every hour I could to fund it. And now, like I said, luckily I've got people like you and other people that sponsor me now. Obviously, with my teams I'm riding for, the Pres racing and KTS racing, I don't have to pay for anything anymore. I just literally turn up and ride motorbikes. So it's a massive to get to that level is amazing. Then obviously the next step to be professional. So yeah, it's just hopefully it happen once. Hopefully it does come or it happens. You know.
Well, it's part of the process, isn't it? You just.
It's like anything, I suppose.
It's like everything.
It's like you obviously sponsor boxers and MMA fighters, and you got like downhill mountain bikers. It's a slow process, but you just keep chipping away, and if you're determined enough, it'll happen. You know. So
well, that's it, man. You know? Like people say that with the brand as well, saying, "Oh, you're lucky you've got the brand." But I've been working my arse off for
it's like it's not just with sports. It's like I said, obviously with your business, it's just you start off small, and you just got to get. You just keep chipping away, and if you're determined enough, like yourself, and obviously me and the people you sponsor, then it's you can achieve anything really.
Well, that's it. Yeah, just keep grinding away, putting in the work.
That's it.
And you learn then as well. You pick up experience, which sets you up for later on as well.
Yeah, knockbacks and stuff like that. Yeah.
So you've been building up for this. Yeah, so that's it. Just chipping away, keeps builds up momentum, builds up experience, and that leads you on to other things.
Yeah, bigger things. Yeah.
Yeah. So. You started off track racing. At what point did you get into road racing? What was the attraction?
Like I said, it was the same thing. My dad obviously did a short circuit racing as well as the roads, and then I went to Ireland and watched one of my heroes, Joy Dunlop. I used to go there and obviously watch my dad, but I was absolutely just in awe of Joy Dunlop and stuff. And I used to chase him around when I was younger, not chasing around, but follow him about and get autographs off him and stuff like that. And I used to watch him. It was just him and just the whole thing with the Irish, the fans and everyone and stuff like that. It was just that's what got me into the road racing, you know. Then, funnily enough, my dad didn't actually start doing the TT or the Manx Grand Prix or the mountain course circuit until he was, I think it was like 2008 or something, 2009 or something along them lines. So my dad was a bit late into it, but obviously coming over here as a young kid and you see that what's going on and stuff, it would just blew my mind really.
Yeah,
so I just what I always wanted to do it, you know. So. We just, I think my first road race was down at the 700, the pre-TT, and it was just from there on, it just grabbed me and that just hooked, you know. So that's from there, just spiraled out of control, like I said.
So you mentioned the pre-TT. You won 3 races this time, right?
Yeah, 3 out of 5. I had 5 races and I won 3 out of 5. So set a new lap record in one of them as well. So I was chuffed with that, and then. It's just been this year's just been really good. I mean, sorry about this. I've got.
Well, you've been sucking in air for the last 2 hours.
Serious man flu going on.
200 mile an hour sucking in air. We'll let you off, man.
All sorts been sucked in at 200 mile an hour, bugs and all sorts.
A few flies in there.
But it's just I've had the pre-TT were amazing, you know. So setting lap records and stuff, and then the whole season I've just been. Not been riding the bikes, or I have been riding the bikes that I'm riding, but I've just been doing a lot more of it, and it's been a great help really, not just at road racing but doing short circuits and just doing as much as I can really, just to keep as sharp as I can, and it's helped massively really. So I'm like I said, just the TT with coming here with obviously I set myself expectations to doing the 130 mile an hour, and we've done that, but the team and the teams I'm riding for we've excelled, and it's just been amazing.
Man down. I know, man. That's it. You see when the guys come off the bike, they're fucked, like
it's
proper knackered.
You probably could carry on and do some more, but it's you get like, because you sat in that position on the bike. If people ride bikes, you know what it's like. It's hard work just going to commuting to doing like 30 mile, never mind 250 mile or something. And then you put yourself through all them G's, and my knees now feel like wood, so I need to go and get a massage, and my neck's really tight, and there's so much force goes through your body for them 6 laps or 4 laps, and it's bonkers really.
I bet, man. I've seen a couple of guys when you came into Park Fermi, there was a couple of guys got off the bike just after you, and they looked hunched over. But no wonder, like you're wrestling the bike for that long as well.
A lot of people, probably not people watching this, but people from outside this sort of thing, they just think you just sit there and just turn your wrist and pull the lever, but it's not like that at all. You've got the body position moves the bike, and you've got to get in the positions to get it around the corner and stuff. So you're actually moving quite a lot, and more than what you expect. You know, even though it doesn't look like that on TV, but you are physically. It's very, very demanding, you know.
It is very demanding sport. I remember when I was at school as well. I was into motorbikes.
Yeah.
I'd never really raced or anything like that, but I would ride them, and all my friends were into football or rugby.
Yeah.
And they would say that like, you're just sitting there twisting the throttle. How hard is it?
Oh,
Fuck me, man.
It annoys you a little bit because it's probably motocross is probably the most physically demanding motorsport out there, to be honest. Because that's so intense. But for I'd quite happily see. I'd love to see like a football player come and try and ride a bike around here for 6 laps because he'd be absolutely pooped.
It'd be good. It'd be good if you put if you could take someone on the back. Yeah. Even just for a lap. I wouldn't do it. I personally wouldn't do it. Lee Johnson did it at Ulster Grand Prix. Took Carl Frampton out on the back. After one lap, he was absolutely knackered, wasn't he? He was sweating and blowing out of his arse. So that's it. I know.
He's obviously he's a boxer, isn't he? So he's ultra fit athlete, you know, a professional boxer. So it's for him to do only one lap at Ulster Grand Prix when we're doing like 8 or 9, and he was absolutely blowing out of his ringer. It just shows you, how physically demanding it is.
It's a different level of fitness, different style of fitness, but it just shows you can be physically fit in one sport, demanding sport, jump in another demanding sport, and you can't.
Yeah, if someone asked me to play football for 90 minutes, I'd be absolutely I'd be on my back, fucking probably dead, having an heart attack or something.
When you're coughing up, speaking in the microphone, man.
I know, struggling here big time.
Aye, so getting back to when you were younger and that, I can relate to that as well. Like my parents would come across to the Isle of Man for their holiday.
Yeah.
And I was coming across when I was a bump, and I was the same. It was I was just hooked when I was a kid. Walking about the paddock, and it was nothing like it is now. It was just everybody's working at the back of transit vans before, but now it's a full blown setup. Yeah. You've got your.
You can't obviously see, but you can see a little bit of it here. But if we could turn the camera around, the vehicles in here now and the amount of money that's been thrown into the sport, it's just absolutely bonkers. You got articulated lorries and massive awnings, and there's like people with 3 or 4 bikes and stuff like that. It's absolutely the amount of money that's put into it now. It's just not just from a professional standard, even the privateers. Like obviously we're a privateer team, and John and Andrew on the team, Pres Racing. I don't know how much he spent, but it'd probably be over 100 grand just on the truck and the boarding and the bikes and all the spares, engines and stuff. It's phenomenal, Well,
that's where the sponsorship comes in as well, just to help out.
But like you were saying, back like 6, 7, 8 years ago when I come with my dad, or maybe 10 years ago, it were people just working out of little tents in the back of the vans, and it's just how it's just escalated in like this small space of time is just absolutely bonkers,
It is. It's kind of got the feel of the super bikes about it now. Yeah. It's a bit more mainstream. It's a bit more accessible now.
Yeah, that's very similar to like BSB and World Superbikes, I suppose, where it's just like I said, you can see into the awnings. You're not really allowed into the awnings, but like I said, the setups are absolutely mental, really. Yeah,
and all you guys are approachable as well.
Yeah. It's not like BSB, I suppose. It's a bit. The riders don't really come out of their awnings. They just sit in the awnings and sign a few photos. Where here you can. Obviously, you're not meant to walk in and out of people's awnings, but for example, people come here for me on a daily basis just to ask for autographs and stuff, and I like that sort of thing because that was me like 10 years ago.
That's it, man. You can relate. You've been on the other side of the fence asking for autographs and photos, and it wouldn't be selfies back in that time, though, would it?
No.
Selfies seem to be the way forward now.
No.
I was walking through the
like a wind-up thing, wasn't it?
the wind-up camera.
Archive for a day after.
Yeah.
Flash.
Take it to Boots to get processed. I was walking through the Parc Fermé earlier, just before the senior.
Yeah.
And there was so many people there, more than last year.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I said normally you can just walk up to your tent, but you have to take a detour around the amount of people that are in there because it's just like I said, it's attracting so many more people now, and it's been promoted to the massive pub or massive like worldwide audience now. With it being on ITV and ITV4, ITV2, whatever it's on, it's the amount of people that are seeing it now, the amount of people that are coming across is just it's absolutely bonkers. Out there today on the six laps, it's 37 3/4 mile, but I think every hedgerow and everything, anywhere you could sit, were full of people. It's absolutely
track's just lined with people, isn't it?
Absolutely mental. Yeah. The amount of people that are out and about today were bonkers.
Yeah, I think the internet's probably got a role to play in that as well because, well, bike racing fans will see it on YouTube and stuff like that, but then there'll be a lot of people who haven't really seen the Isle of Man TT before, and they see it and they're like, fuck me, check this, send it to their mates, and they send it to their mates. And
it's just a big group, just a massive group of people come over on piss for a week, I suppose.
Exactly, That's I was driving in this morning as well, and there's folk walking about with cases of beer getting to their spot to watch the racing.
Hanging over edge with a beer, waving a beer at you on your last lap, and you're thinking like, fuck off. I could do one of them, yeah. I've got another 34 miles to go yet before I can have one.
Yeah, well, you got one now, man.
I've got one now,
it's well deserved.
Yeah.
But it's the thing. Like people come, and it's the fascination with the Isle of Man TT. Like we drove in early this morning before the road shut, and people were just lining the hedges and sitting there, and they could be sitting there all day because we had, what day was it? Wednesday.
Wednesday we would have sat. It's like it. Okay, I got up here at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And it were. We sat around until about 6:30. We got told we couldn't go out.
That's
so
right, yeah.
It's not obviously, it's us that affected, but then obviously the people, like I said, this, the fans and the marshals. The marshals obviously they're out there on the mountain for the full duration of the day because they can't move because obviously it's not open. The road's closed for the full day. So but then, like I said, I used to stop. Luckily I stopped a bit closer to the Paddock this year, but I used to stop in like Port Erin on the other side of the island. I know it's only like 20 miles, but it's a long way obviously travelling. But we used to come in earlier in the morning at like 7 o'clock in the morning. And there were people sat there already on the hedgerow, getting the spot with a can of Stella or whatever, drinking already at that time of the morning. But unfortunately, the weather this year at the TT has been really, really poor. So it's been the organisers have done an amazing job to get all the races over and complete. This is the last race day, and I don't know how he's done it, but he's managed to get every single race done and finished and completed before. I was half expecting us to miss races because it's been really bad, but fair play to Gary and the officials, and he's done an amazing job. Yeah,
he done great because the Isle of Man TT is 37 and 3/4 miles long, and it's on open roads, it's public roads. They close the roads for the racing, obviously. So if you're on the inside of the circuit, you're kind of stuck there. I think there's an access road day, but you're kind of stuck there for the day. So on Wednesday, the weather was really bad. The racing was delayed and delayed and delayed. They kept delaying it, thinking we'd get a break in the weather to go racing, and it never happened. So, there's people sitting on the grass bankings for hours
and then to be told we're not going out. But it's frustrating for everyone, I suppose. Even riders, you get I think it was practice week. I think it was Monday or no. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think it was. We would come up here and we didn't do anything for 3 days, but I was more tired than 3 days, not doing anything than I was doing something, because your body builds up with adrenaline, and then it goes down and up and down, and that tires you out more than actually riding the bike does, because it's your adrenaline's like a drug, I suppose. It just takes over.
They say it's a adrenaline dump, isn't it? It's an adrenaline dump. It just dumps all the adrenaline. Yeah, so that's what it feels like. Yeah,
I can't, like before a race and before practice, I can't eat anything, and your adrenaline's up there, and if you get told you're not out there, and as soon as I get told I'm not out there, I'm straight into the fridge getting some sandwiches or pork pies or something just to feed me. Yeah. Keep the energy levels up.
But then, sorry, talking about the delays, that just kind of it shows the fascination with the event. You know, it's drawn all these people, and they're happy to sit, or maybe not happy, but they do sit on the edges, and watch. Just sitting waiting for the bikes to go past.
Because the circuit's so big as well, it was really, Wednesday was so peculiar. You were obviously here.
Yeah.
Wednesday in the paddock, people walking around in shorts and t-shirts and with sun cream on, and the other side of the island, it were absolutely monsoony rain. Videos on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and stuff where marshals actually sweeping up puddles and stuff like that to keep the event going, or trying to keep it going, but unfortunately didn't go. But you just can't believe how such a small place, the climate
can be so weather
different.
System.
Like 20 miles up the road, it can be absolutely chucking down over here with cracking flags.
Well, that's it. It's almost 40 miles long. So, as you say, like we left Ramsey on Wednesday morning. It was nice sunshine. We were driving down, got to Glen Helen. It was a bit wet, and we got here, and it was sunshine. Felt tidy. We were going to go racing. And then we heard it was pissing down with rain at Ramsey, where we had left.
I couldn't believe it. I said I couldn't make it up, really. It was absolutely bonkers.
It's just this wee weather system working its way around the island, eh? Just the nature of the sport.
TT, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. So what's next? Where are you?
Next for me is maybe, I think there might be a CRMC, Classic Racing Club meeting that I might be going to. I know there's one this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, but I think next one's at Anglesey. So I might be there. Then I think the next big event's the 700 for me.
Yes.
Which is I think it's only like maybe, I think it's the July the 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, I think. So
it's
that'll
not
be
far away.
Yeah, it's not far away. It's only 3 or 4 weeks. So we'll get home, back to work, and just get ready for that, I think. And then maybe try and fill a bit of a void in with some little club meeting or something, just to keep myself sharp. But then from there we go to we've got the Ulster Grand Prix, which is obviously about a month after that. I think you're going to that.
Yeah, we'll be there, yeah.
And then there's straight on from that, and it's a classic TT. So it's this period of time, it's just absolutely flat out. So we'll just try and keep as sharp as we can and keep going.
Yeah. So you do a lot of classic racing as well?
Yeah. Just ride a 750 Kawasaki for a team, a lad called Nigel Fitzmarold over in Silsden, and Loafer, Kraus Racing it's called, and ride a Manx Norton, 500 Manx Norton for Ted Wolf, and a 350k4 for him. And this year I've been lucky to ride a little 250 Grand Prix bike for David Binch at the pre-TT. Hopefully we're riding that at the Classic TT as well, which would be nice. So yeah, we've got, like I said, it's a full schedule coming up, so I'm really up for it. I feel really good, and the bikes I'm riding are really good. So yeah, we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, man. But the results you're putting in is showing the hard work's paying off.
Yeah, it's been. Like I said, I've been over winter this year. Last year a bit because I lost my ride with Radcliffe's and stuff like that, and then I only got the ride with Pens 13 at the last minute. I didn't really train as good as what I should have done really. But this year I got the deal signed early, and then just, like I said, more determined and more just put a lot more into it. And I feel really good apart from this dreaded man flu. But it's been that shit over here. I'm not surprised. I think everyone's had it.
Yeah, I think it'll be going about it's meant the rain they've had and the cold weather. But well, that's the thing with your training. If you get the deal signed for the team, it gives you a bit of motivation to start training and stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I think last year we were obviously I signed a 2-year deal with the Radcliffe Racing team that I rode for, and then unfortunately they pulled a pin like winter, just after winter, so it was like a bit of all the rides had virtually gone and blah blah blah. And luckily, Pens 13 came forward with a ride, but it wasn't until like the season had started, and obviously because I was so deflated with what happened, it were I said I didn't train as well as I could have done. I did go training, but you're just not as determined as you are when you obviously get the ride sorted before Christmas, you know. So, but this year, like I said, I've got them signed early and sorted out, and then now we're straight in the gym and just working every other day I'm there, and obviously working as well, that helps. But yeah, we're just absolutely flat out playing five-a-side, cycling, doing a bit of boxing and stuff like that, and just doing as much as I can really. Of
course, just keep fitness up.
That's it, yeah.
But I know you're sitting in pain here. You need to get a massage and stuff, man. One more thing before we wrap this up. You were in a fucking PlayStation game, man. How cool was that?
Yeah, I know. It's, to be honest with you, I was a bit gobsmacked at first. I actually see my ugly mug on it, but I were made up as well. Because obviously yourself, you were on it with your helmet.
Yeah, with the helmet,
and then obviously your logo, the company logo. So yeah, it's a bit. It's a bit weird, really, when you sit there, because I do actually play it, and I do play as myself occasionally, but it's a bit odd when you think, normally when I was younger, I played the PlayStation quite a lot, so you go on there and you pick your favourite riders, and it's weird to think that people will be around the world, around the UK and everywhere, playing as me. It's a bit surreal, cool, really, but it's, like I said, it's just started off with that little bike 10 years ago, and now I've just worked yourself, just keep chipping away, and that's where you can get to, you know.
Exactly.
So, just thanks, like I said, thanks to you and all my personal sponsors. If you want for you boys and the teams I'm riding for now, it's I won't be where I am now. So thanks very much.
No, thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks for watching the Brawcast. That's been episode 4 with Jamie Coward, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.